Всім привіт, мої друзі. Hi everyone. I wanted to give an update because it's been almost a month. I'm really sorry that I haven't updated you more. It's been an incredible experience so far. I spent most of my time in Lviv and the surrounding areas as we've been delivering a lot of food and pizzas with Hopeful primarily. That's been, I would say, a good 60% of my time here has been spent with Hopeful. An incredible organization. The volunteers come from everywhere. We just had someone join from Japan, which is really exciting. Lots of people from the UK and Scotland. So far, I'm the only Canadian that I've met, but there have been some others. And it's been an amazing experience to see the resilience of the Ukrainian people in the face of continued oppression that really just feels like it's never stopped. I've done my best to live like a local while I'm here and meet real Ukrainians and not just surround myself in a volunteer bubble. And that's afforded me a lot of really great opportunities to help some people. So I want to update you with some of the ways that I've spent the money that you generously donated. I want to share a few different photos as well across the different sites that we've been to. The joy and excitement, especially from the kids and some of the elderly folks, is contagious, and I've been really fortunate to have a regular leader of the volunteers at Hopeful with a man named Gonzalo, who's a fantastic man, originally from Peru and then Spain, and he is full of life and joy and happiness, and you see just how pure and contagious that can be as he goes back to different towns and villages and hospitals, and people greet him and us with hugs and warmth and love, and simple things like that really make it all worth it. I've learned that medication is not that easy to come by, especially prescription medication. And part of that is the incredible need, and just that the need has really outpaced the supply that's available. $200 went to a young girl in mid-eastern Ukraine who is diabetic and needed a insulin measurement device. So $200 of your money went there. I think that's money well spent. One soldier with the call sign Tyson was injured in a chemical attack because Russia continues to use illegal chemical weapons against Ukrainians every single day. He now has to use 3 different inhalers on a regular basis to make sure that his lungs still function. And with burns across his face and arms, there's some permanent physical damage, visual damage, but thankfully he'll make a pretty solid recovery. So 12,000 hryvnia, which is just over 400 Canadian dollars, has gone to purchase the different inhalers that he needs to ensure that his lungs function correctly and that chronic issues don't become life-threatening for him. Hopeful primarily focuses on feeding IDPs, which are internally displaced people. We don't call them refugees, they're still within their own country, but of course they've had to relocate because their cities are destroyed. So we visited monasteries that house a couple hundred elderly folks with different disabilities, veteran hospitals, schools, and fed hundreds and hundreds of people. It's really exciting to see the joy that on their faces when they see that people from the West and even from the East also haven't forgotten about them, and to just have an experience with people outside of their own circumstances can be a jolt of joy, which is really exciting. Even though it's a small, simple thing, it really feel the impact. One of these villages in particular, and I'm not going to say the names just for safety reasons, but last time we were there, we visited a school, and we had the pleasure and honor of being shown around by the principal and the other school administrators and showing the different ways that they teach the students and keep them safe. The boys learn how to disassemble and disarm certain weapons and explosive ordinances because it's likely that they'll encounter them at some point in their life. A lot of the girls learn medical treatment, first aid, and things like that, and this has just become a regular part of their curriculum. They, of course, feed us. Ukrainians are incredibly generous with feeding people. It's really beautiful. And the last time we had lunch with them, I asked them what they needed at the school, what practical things they need. A lot of the money right now that the government has in Ukraine goes to the immediate needs, which is unfortunately ammunition and weapons. And so the schools, especially in rural areas, really are hurting for funding and resources. So one of the things that the principal and the teachers and administrators told us they need is a smart board, a shared screen, so that students can learn together in a shared environment, and technology. They're really lacking modern technology. So one of the things that we've done is a couple of the other volunteers have pitched in some money and found a good deal in a secondhand marketplace on a great school projector that they can hook into their devices, whatever they may have, the teachers, and a screen as well. In total, right now, the cost of that for the projector and the screen is about 600 Canadian dollars. So combination of some of your funds and the funds from the other volunteers that were there on the day is going to cover that expense. This week I'll be picking those up and driving them off to the village. I'm really excited to give them that and also pick up a laptop and set them up with an Office subscription, so that way they can use some of these modern programs and make sure that these kids are well equipped to use modern technology in the future as they go off into the world and gain careers. I've joined a couple different volunteer groups on WhatsApp and Telegram that help connect volunteers and logistics opportunities across the country and outside of it as well. So a couple weeks ago, I was offered the opportunity to deliver an ambulance that had been donated from Sweden from Lviv to Kyiv. So myself and another volunteer hopped in our own ambulances and made the 8-hour drive to Kyiv, dropped them off in a parking lot, handed the keys over to the other volunteer, and slept, and then went back to Lviv the next evening. Coming from Canada, where people can typically err on the side of politeness and not wanting to inconvenience people with sharing real daily struggles, it's really refreshing to be in a country where when you ask "Jak spravoj," how are things, how are you, you get genuine, honest answers. And when you ask people what they need, they answer you with real things. And they're not shy about sharing their different needs, daily struggles, and also their daily joys. As a Canadian, it's also hard to not chronically apologize for things. If you know me, that's something I struggle with frequently. But when you apologize to Ukrainians after hearing some of their heartbreaking stories, many times they shrug and say, "This is life, this is our reality, and this is what we have to deal with." All of your prayers and well wishes have been really felt while I've been here. In Lviv, especially in the city center, we've been really fortunate to not have any serious attacks. There have been some pretty significant ones across the rest of the country, of course, especially in the eastern regions. In Lviv, though, primarily power stations have been hit, which is not as bad, obviously, as residential buildings, which Russia continues to attack regularly, daily, without abandon.